Welcome to the Nerds of Comedy and part 2 of Making Millennials Watch the Monkees. If you saw last week's episode, I tried to do a reaction video and failed spectacularly. I'm not quite sure that was a word right there, but we're going to keep on going. This week, well, it's more of the same. We started out as a reaction video, didn't work. Turned out it's not really a review. We do talk about the episode. It is weird. Stay tuned for that. But we more kind of dive into the Monkees and just how different and groundbreaking their show was for a 1960s audience. How different and groundbreaking it is compared to TV shows today. We talk about the Monkees movie, Head. We talk about a lot of the guest stars that they brought on board. It was a lot of fun. Again, I'm a huge Monkees fan. It was really cool sharing this with Barrett and Laura and you guys. Today we watched the final episode of the Monkees. It is called the Frodis Caper. Like I said, it is weird. So enjoy. I want to show you one more episode, which again, I was going back and forth between episodes to show. So this one will be the last episode of the series. And it was actually written and directed by one of the Monkees, and just kind of shows you how far they could get with some of their humor.
So let me ask you this before we start.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess just low ratings. Is that why it was canceled? Or
First season got really good ratings. They won 2 Emmy Awards.
okay.
Then they moved time slots for the second series, and the ratings weren't as big. By that time, I think the stress too of shooting a TV show plus recording music plus touring was starting to kind of wear.
Wow. So they had to like record out. Yeah, they had to do all that. Wow.
Yes. And then the producers kind of wanted to move on as well. So they ended up doing a movie after the TV show wrapped up. They did a movie called Head, which is one of the weirdest movies you will ever see.
It's called Head?
Yes. The producers who were friends with Jack Nicholson and the Monkees went up into a cabin in the mountains for a month and just smoked a lot of dope. And Jack Nicholson wrote the movie, and they came back and produced it. And it is very surreal. They're kind of known as like the prefab four. If the Beatles were the Fab Four, these guys are the prefab four because they were manufactured by a TV studio to become a band. So they wanted to do everything they could to like obliterate their kind of teeny bopper image with this movie, and they succeeded.
Hey, we are the Monkees. You know we love to please. A manufactured image with no philosophies. We hope you like our story, although there isn't one. That is to say, there's many. That way, there is more fun.
The problem was while the Monkees were really big with like kids in their like early teenage years, you know, once you got to be like 17 or 18 or 19, you're like, the Monkees suck.
Yeah.
So the people that the age demographic that would have liked what they did with the movie weren't going to go see a Monkees movie, no matter, you know, how weird or surreal it was. And then the teeny boppers who were big Monkey fans didn't want to see them in this weird surreal movie, so they pretty much shot themselves in the foot.
Nice. I want to see this movie now.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to play you one more episode. And this one, like I said, I was going back and forth between going one which was more typical Monkees, which is, you know, kind of a romp, they get into some sort of trouble, or going one where you could tell that they were kind of over and done with it.
So this is the series finale.
This is the series finale, although there was never any overarching story, so it's not like they're trying to wrap up loose ends.
Okay.
So they just were like, we're done with monkeying around, you know?
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They are done monkeying around. This is called the Frodis Caper.
The Frodis Caper?
Yeah.
What the hell's a Frodis?
Frodis was their inside term for pot. So that's what they would refer to marijuana, you know, backstage and stuff like that.
Oh, they should call marijuana that from now on.
Yeah.
I like that better. Let me, you want to smoke some Frodis?
Frodis.
So this one stars Rip Taylor.
Oh my God. Wait, Freddie got fingered, right?
Yeah. He, I'm not quite sure what else he was like.
He was in that David Bowie movie, The Man Who Fell to Earth. I know that.
He was also in.
Wait, no. Am I getting Rip Taylor mixed up with Rip Torn?
Let me see. There is a Rip Torn. So Rip Taylor somehow became friends with Johnny Knoxville.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. I was thinking Rip Torn, the guy from Men in Black and Freddy Got Fingered.
No.
Okay, Rip Taylor. Yes, he was in the Jackass movies. Very flamboyant, very extravagant. He would always, light up some fireworks and stuff at the end of the Jackass movies.
Yes, he was also
do like confetti stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he was gay, but he played very flamboyantly gay.
I'm pretty sure he was gay.
Yeah. So you'll quickly see once we start watching this episode, just completely, you can tell they just did not give a shit at all.
Okay, I'm excited
anymore.
I'm very, very much thrilled to see it.
As a lazy person myself, I love lack of effort. So I'm very, very looking forward to this.
All right, so here we go with the Frodis Caper. So we don't have to watch this part. Occasionally they would bring in musicians to do a bit at the end. So this is Tim Buckley, Jeff Buckley's dad. I don't know if you're familiar with.
I love Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Tim Buckley's music, but
yeah, so he was like a folk singer in the 60s and 70s.
Nice.
So that's
it. That was
Caper.
Wait, that was the finale.
That was that's how the way it went out. It ended up So
I love it.
Best finale ever.
The last thing you see, you don't even see the Monkees. You see some other musician.
Well, to be fair, they didn't know it was gonna be the finale. But
that's true.
Yeah.
Man, what a weird episode. I can see what you're saying though. Like towards the end, they're probably like, just whatever, throw everything in the kitchen sink, like let's just get weird with it.
I would love to figure out what the budget for this episode was, because
it couldn't have been very high
it was an empty TV studio.
And so let's put some paper, let's put like just an eyeball, like a paper eyeball on a plant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'll be the alien.
Was it a football? It looked like it was
it looked like a football. I was gonna say it looked like a football with an eyeball, and they just put it on a plant.
They probably spent their whole budget on like that spaceship at the end. They're like, oh man, we
not even though
$5 on that.
So at the beginning, where they had like that Rube Goldberg contraption, that the sun to the magnifying glass that cuts the rope, and that Good Morning song.
That's on Sgt. Pepper's. I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
that is the Beatles. And I guess they contacted the Beatles and said, hey, we want to use your song in our episode. And the Beatles said, go for it. And they waived all royalties. So the Monkees didn't have to pay for use.
They didn't spend their budget on getting the Beatles song then.
You would think that they would have spent all their money getting the Beatles song, but the Beatles gave it to them for free.
Now, did the Beatles watch the episode first before giving them permission? Like, do you think they saw the whole thing? They Rip Taylor and the eyeball thing, and they were like, yes, go for it.
Honestly, like they probably didn't. Like, yeah, absolutely. We need our song.
I want to know what the script for this was. This, for some reason, this episode to me seems like there's a lot of improv going on, especially on Rip Torn's.
Rip
Taylor's part. Yeah, that's gonna confuse me.
Yeah.
Did they even use the script? Did they were like, okay, this is the last episode, y'all go crazy, just do something.
I don't know. I could see them writing like an outline, getting like really, really high, writing like an outline, and then just kind of winging it. Yeah. So I'm sure there was like a skeleton of a script, and then probably a lot of improv. And Rip Taylor's only direction was just act fucking over the top.
Right.
He was probably enjoying that. That looks like he was having total fun just doing whatever that was.
It really, like that scene where they're Rip Taylor and his goons are being untied from the police.
Marvelous. They're villainous. I hate them. You did right by taking them away. I didn't do a thing. I'm innocent, you can see. It's nothing at all. Separate checks, please.
He's just got like this weird diarrhea of the mouth. Wait, what is that? Separate checks, please. What does that even mean?
One thing I noticed, which I didn't touch upon in the last episode, is the transitions, the little spinny thing, which I remember that from Batman. Now, did this come out before Batman?
The same time as Batman. I think this was
66 or 67.
Yeah, and the Monkees came out, ran from September of 66 to March of 68. So this was March of 68. So Batman was definitely on the scene at this point in time, but I can't remember if Batman started in 65. No, in fact, let's look it up real.
But yeah, those transitions, that you know, if Batman came after this, then that, you know, Batman probably took a page from this show.
Batman was, let's see, all right, January 66 to March of 68.
Okay, so Monkees probably copied Batman, but
yeah, Monkees copied Batman.
This looks like a job for Monkey Men.
Quick, men, the phone booth.
In various their episodes, the Monkees would turn into superheroes. They'd have like these red outfits with a big M on their chest. But they would never do anything. Like, this looks like a job for Monkey Men, and they would appear in their costumes, but then they never showed. I think they could fly in one episode, but it didn't add anything to the plot. It was just one of those weird fantasy things that they would throw in.
Up and away!
What is this up and away thing?
I want to fly, man. I'm gonna fly.
Fly? Why are you gonna fly, man? The restaurant's a half a block.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
We better walk then, haven't we?
Might as well walk.
I can't believe this aired.
Yeah, if you think,
Oh my god.
it definitely just seems like some Mickey's drug-fueled dream.
Yeah.
He definitely got to make the episode he wanted, which I respect.
This show nowadays called like the Eric Andre show. It definitely gives me like that sort of vibes where it's just all this like everything's just so much is happening all at once, and it's just love it.
Yeah, this definitely would seem like an Adult Swim type of.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
I haven't really delved into Tim and Eric or, you know, Eric Andre, but I'm kind of familiar of their style, and this kind of did have a Tim and Eric vibe to it.
Do.
Other little things that I like that they touch on in this, and you will see throughout the series. There's the bit where they're huddled up.
Okay, that's good, fellas, but we still got some work to do. We've got, what's his name over there?
Glick.
Right, Glick. Let's do it again.
Okay.
Okay, that's good, fellas, but we still got some work.
Oh, I noticed that.
Yeah,
It was so weird. It's like we could just cut and just try it again. Like, no, it's
no,
in.
just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Yeah. So again, that's not something new. That's something that they do throughout the series.
All right, good.
Would you like a little bit bigger? That was my medium scare.
Oh, do another one.
Would you like a long one?
A small one.
Smaller one?
Yeah. Good.
Or occasionally they'll actually pull out the script.
Just a second, I'll see.
It says Judd and
we
all
did
rush
that.
out Mike and Mickey for
That's
David.
my line.
Right.
We've got to get Peter at Ellie Mae's.
I'm not going in there again. Was that good dramatic? Was it good?
And even in this one, there's at the beginning where as they're walking towards the camera before the opening credits, you have Mike who's like, well, there's this wizard Glick.
You're telling me it was unbelievable, and you think that was something. You ought to see what happens after the commercial. Well, there's this weird guy named Wizard Glick who
Wizard
is really
Glick.
evil. And then the people who live next door are
What
all
happened to the people who live next door?
Throughout the series, you get the feeling that they know that they're in a TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, definitely some meta stuff.
Yeah. There's a previous episode where they have a plan, or they can't come up with a plan. And Mickey's like, well, I have a really good idea. Why don't we ask the writers?
Hi, fellas. Listen, we need an idea for the show, you know. Gotta be something fast and groovy and hip and everything, you know. Can you do it?
So like I said, as a 10 or 11-year-old kid, even though the show at that point in time was, 25 years old,
Thanks, fellas.
almost 30 years old, it really kind of blew my mind that you could do.
I bet. I
anything
mean,
like
Yeah.
this.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless how weird it was.
Yeah, so very absurd. The other thing I picked up on was, and we use it in the pushers a lot, we always will have some sort of out of character scene, which you saw in that first episode that I showed you, where at the end it's just the guys kind of talking, being themselves. They do that a lot throughout the series, either at the top of an episode or at the end of the episode. Just the monkeys kind of hanging around, just kind of talking or referring to something that happened in the episode, which kind of got you a chance to really know who the dudes were. Supposedly when the pilot aired, it was the worst rated pilot of all time in the history of television. Or the
Really? Why was that?
It was super weird, and
they just went ahead with it anyway.
They recut it.
Obviously. Okay.
They recut it, and what they did is they took screen tests of the guys.
Do you think you're a goof?
Do you?
No.
Well, see, it depends on what
Do I think you're a goof?
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay, see, then that's where it's at. If you think I'm a goof, man, I'm a goof. You know, what I think is what I am, right? And I don't think I'm a goof.
What bag are you in?
What?
What bag are you in?
Bag?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
All right, let me ask you something. I mean, like, do you make a folk sound or a rock sound or anything like that?
I make a terrible sound.
Where it was them just kind of being interviewed, like, why do you want to be a monkey, you know, things like that. And they put it at the beginning of the episode. So like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the episode is you're literally just watching screen tests of these guys, but you get a really good sense of, you know, who they are and their personality.
Okay.
And like I said, they were playing, you know, versions of themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
At the time, the guy with the green hat was married with a kid, which occasionally they would make reference to in the episode.
I think you're cute.
So does my wife and kids. I'll go with you.
Which one was the guy with the green hat?
So he was in the first episode. He was the one with the green hat, and the latter episode he got rid of the hat, but he had like the big kind of glasses on, the tall one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's Mike Nesmith.
Oh, okay.
He became like the unofficial kind of like leader of the group.
Really, not Davy Jones. He's kind of. I thought he was the leader.
No, he was the heartthrob,
which is interesting because he's so little.
Yeah,
so short. He's British, so I guess they just got a British guy on an American thing, huh?
Yeah, he was under contract with the TV studio. He was in America. He was the Artful Dodger on Broadway.
Oh wow!
In fact, he was on the Ed Sullivan Show the night that the Beatles performed.
He performed right in front of him.
Yeah, he performed as the Artful Dodger. He sang a song, and then later on the show, the Beatles came on, and nobody remembers anything of that show other than the Beatles.
That'd be so funny if he like, hey, where do I know you from? Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
He was on the Ed Sullivan Show, the highest TV show ever, rated. They're like, who? Now, let me ask you this. Now, is this the weirdest it got?
No. Well, yes, this was definitely weird.
Okay, this is their max of weird.
They did another episode where they decided to do like a fairy tale where it's on a Stark set, and it's like a medieval fairy tale where they all play multiple characters. Like Mike is a queen, and Peter has to go on a quest to get a magic locket. It is, like I said, it is super weird. It's all kind of done in a very bare bones set. And that one was pretty weird. But I would say majority of the episodes are very similar to the first one. They get into some sort of jam, either with like, gangsters or a rival band or something like that. And they have to figure out a way out of it.
I definitely think they probably should have done more of those weird episodes. Those are...
Yeah, the weird episodes were like, this is like I said, the latter half of the season 2 is where they started like sneaking in more and more just weird stuff. They kind of started flexing their muscles. They actually supposedly had a room called the Frodis room, which was where they would go and smoke pot. So the fact that they literally were able to get that on screen was huge for 1968. And a lot of people, because it's the Monkees and kind of, like a show for teenagers or whatever, never really picked up on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
This is a deep cut. There is I only saw it like once, but Led Zeppelin's Song Remains the Same. Have you ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
it's like a concert, but there's like weird, like dreamlike sequences like throughout the movie, and I don't know, like this kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Like there's like a main plot, and then there's just I don't know, weird side shit.
This movie, like my mom's like a huge Led Zeppelin fan, so she's probably like shown me that movie once.
Well, I'm glad you showed this to us, Sean. This is very, very unique.
Everybody kind of knows them for their music, but nobody knows them for their this really weird ass TV show that kind of like took the rule book of conventional sitcoms and just literally threw it out the window.
Yeah, like I said, I am kind of shocked that like this. Well, the first episode, not so much, but this episode really was like it's just so incomprehensible. It just I mean, I liked it, but like, yeah, I mean, a person watching this in the 60s would just be like, "What the hell?
What is this?" Like, I'm pretty sure like the episode we just watched would just been like a hit like nowadays because people be like, "I don't know what's going on, but I need to watch more of this."
Yeah, this one had like a lot of weird like jump cuts, if you notice too, like
yeah,
almost like flash frame type things when they make.
And they kept showing the ocean. Remember that? I was like, what are we doing?
That random crowd applauding.
Oh my God, Hitler!
Hitler, I was gonna say.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's just like throw in some like Hitler archive footage. That'll go over well.
As you do.
We didn't talk about the last episode, the Indian answering all with telephones.
Yeah, that was very problematic. Which I mean, at the time was very the norm. There's another episode where they are fighting Chinese spies, and it's again you can tell it's all white dudes in yellow face, which you're like, oof, very cringy, but was unfortunately normal for that period of time.
Yeah. It's funny, as unconventional as this show was, that part was pretty conventional.
Yeah. They maintained the racism of the 1960s. Not a lot of black characters on this. It's mostly white dudes. In the second season, occasionally you'll have like a black actor here and there in a role, but towards the end where they were able to kind of do whatever they want. So like this one, Mickey brings in Tim Buckley. There's another episode where Mike brings in Frank Zappa.
Okay.
And they play a car, which basically means they just take a sledgehammer and just destroy a car for 5 minutes.
That's all it was. That's all the bit was.
It's an interview where Mike is interviewing Frank Zappa, but I guess they thought it was boring, so they had Frank Zappa dress up as Mike Nesmith and Mike Nesmith dress up as Frank Zappa.
Tell me, Frank.
Tell you what, Mike?
No, you're supposed to talk like Frank. This is one of our cute numbers for the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be you, and you're supposed to be me, right?
You see the way we work this out in advance?
Oh, that's awesome.
And interview each other that way. And then they play a car, which is just them smashing a car with a sledgehammer. Davy Jones, which again, it's kind of cool, but also cringeworthy, where was friends with this black musician who would go on to write The Wiz, the musical version of.
Oh, I've seen that. Not a good movie.
I haven't seen it. Supposedly a pretty good stage show, but the movie was pretty bad. But they bring him on, and the guy kind of discusses the difference between white rhythm and black rhythm.
Now, an example of 2 and 4 would be
now
more
1
of
and
a
3
Motown
is 1 and 3 is white soul, right?
Right.
And
exactly.
the 2 and 4 is the Motown.
Is Motown Soul Brothers. So, you know, I'm giving some 3 and 5 over here.
Oh,
which was kind of awkward, but also kind of cool at the same time that they even would kind of broach the subject. White music usually falls on these certain beats where black music is on these other beats. So like I said, it just nothing you would never see anything like it on the Andy Griffith Show.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a miracle. I mean, I think it's a good thing that that this kind of passed through like the studio and the censors, but like some of this is kind of like, wow, this is just so unconventional for the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode, Sean?
I really like the fairy tale episode because it is just so completely different than anything they did up until that point. And then again, I'm a big fan of the episodes where they break tradition. There's one where it starts out like a normal Monkees episode where a guy breaks into this house looking for some secret microfilm that they stumbled upon, and the Monkees just say, you know what, forget it, this is dumb, this is the same story we've done for episode after episode, nothing has changed, you know, I'm bored with it, the audience is bored with it, we're going on vacation.
You see one monkey episode, you see all the monkey episodes, man. It's all the same.
The scare is very funny. Try the scare. Come on.
No, Jim, it's funny to you because you have...
Well, how do you think I feel? I would direct the same show.
We're going to take a vacation.
And then it's the Monkees go to Paris, and it's literally a camera following the Monkees around France for a whole episode. And there's not really any dialogue. It's just almost literally like a travelogue of them in France. There's another where it's kind of like a day in the life of the Monkees while they're on tour. So it's not really has anything to do with any of the episodes or anything like that. It's just what they do when they're on tour, and you know, all the stuff that they have to go through, you know, getting from one place to another. At this point in time, you know, they were kind of had reached like Beatlemania levels of just, you couldn't hear what they were playing on stage just because the amount of girls just screaming. So I like those episodes that, for a show that was already very kind of unconventional, would even go even further.
Wow.
And I like the fact that, you know, they make reference to themselves, like the one where they go to Paris. They're like, hey, dude, this is the same exact show that we've been doing all season long. We're tired of it.
Yeah. Was this the first show to go meta? Like,
I don't know. They definitely lean into the meta quite a bit.
Come on, Sonny. Say it. Will you marry me?
Will you marry me?
10 million chicks, madly in love with him. He's going to marry an old man.
I can see why it's a classic. I can see why it has like kind of a cult following, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it ever reached classic status, but for some reason, when I saw it as a 10-year-old kid, these, you know, dumb jokes aside, and again, some of the plots are pretty lame. Like even the Ghost Town one, like the plot itself is kind of ridiculous and very threadbare. I mean, there's really nothing to it, but it's just like the weird little things that they would throw in that have really kind of stuck with me. And it was not long after this that I then discovered Monty Python and just, you know, the absurd stuff going on there.
I need to watch Monty Python again, because I saw the Holy Grail and I didn't love it.
See, for me, it's weird, but the Monkees and the Monty Python go hand in hand for me, because Holy Grail is very meta in the sense that, you know, at the end of the movie, they get arrested because it turns out that it's all taking place in modern day, and the police show up and arrest everybody.
I think I need to watch it again, because I saw it when I was a kid and I was like, this is stupid, but I think I would like love it now.
Yeah. I would say that Monty Python is definitely smarter than the Monkees, but I think cut from the same mold in a lot of sense as far as like the absurd humor.
Well, now Monty Python was kind of after the Monkees, right? Or kind of same time?
Same time. I guess no, after. I think they started like in the late 60s. Okay. But it was obviously over in England, and it took a while for it to reach American shores.
And they had a show. They had a show too.
Yeah, they had a sketch show first.
Okay, and then movies.
And then movies.
Gotcha.
All right. So, do you have any other comments on the Monkees?
No, I I won't forget it. It was very unique.
Boy, I was watching.
Yeah, and you can find all the episodes on YouTube, which is also pretty cool.
Okay.
For
me, it's comfort food. So whenever I'm like, I just need something to kind of like refresh my batteries, I'll throw on a Monkees episode.
Sweet.
All right. So for the Nerds of Comedy, I'm Sean. Barrett, Laura, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We'll see what I do as far as the editing of this. I don't think it's going to be a reaction video, but we'll figure out how I'll put it together.
Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Yeah.
If you ever want to do a Batman 60s watch through, I'm your guy.
I would love it. Have you ever seen the the 66 Batman movie.
Oh, I had it on VHS when I was a kid.
Yeah. That one is great. I would say that a really kind of cool connection is there is one episode of the Monkees where they're playing in some club and the camera pans over and it's Burgess Meredith in his penguin getup just sitting just sitting.
That's
they
awesome.
don't never make reference to him or anything like that. He's just sitting there smoking his cigarette on his, the long thing that the penguin would have.
That's cool. So he was just in the area and they're probably like, hey, you just want to be in a shot real quick?
Yeah. They don't make any reference to him. They just camera pans over and focuses on for a second, and then they just go on with the rest of the episode. It makes no sense whatsoever, but there he is.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right. Well, I will see you guys later.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.